Inside Tennis with the Koz is brought to you by Firkins Automotive. Find it at Firkins.
Hi, tennis fans. The Koz here with another half hour inside the world of tennis. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Your summer season pass from Interest in Payments is at Firkins Mitsubishi. Get 0% APR for 72 months, plus no payments for 90 days on new Mitsubishis, like the 2018 Outlander, Outlander Sport, and Eclipse Cross. Expect more, save more. Find it at Firkins. Whatever you do, don't let the summer of Jeep at Firkins pass you by. New 2018 Compass, 0 down, sign and drive, $199 a month. Or new 2018 Wrangler, 0 down, sign and drive, just $349 a month. Expect more, save more. Find it at Firkins.
Hi, I'm John Isner, and you're Inside Tennis with the Koz.
Hi, tennis fans. Terrific as always to be with you. Busy times on the Sun Coast, in the Sunshine State, and around the country. Had a wonderful time at the Little Mo Internationals in Newport Beach, California. Catching up with boxing legend Mike Tyson, whose 10-year-old daughter is now in tennis. And American tennis icon Michael Chang, whose 8-year-old daughter is playing tournament tennis. Always great to revisit the USTA national stop at the Florida Open at the Lexington Country Club in Fort Myers. A special congratulations to Bradenson's Ryan Smith, USA's #1 ranked Special Olympics men's singles player, and his fiancée, USA #1 ranked women's singles player, Brittany Tagliarini. Both players won the gold in all the divisions in which they participated. Brittany was also featured on ESPN, ABC. So, what's on the show today? Well, we have another great one for you. You will catch the action at the Florida Open with the boys and girls 16s and 18s, singles and doubles. You will get to know U.S. Davis Cupper, Wimbledon finalist, and ATP Humanitarian Award winner Mal Washington. If you are a tennis parent, you will be informed by Lisa Stone, founder of Parenting Aces, with thoughts of helping your kids with their tennis. Plus, are you ready for this? More rap tennis. As Ravi Patel, the rapping tennis coach, gives you a Wimbledon recap. So let's get it launched with the Florida Open. Well, Kimberly, what a week here at the Florida Open. How great of a feeling is this to share what you had in the game as a WTA Top 25 performer with these kids?
It's been really kind of neat, kind of come full circle from having been a junior player to a pro player, played college, and to seeing these young kids getting the opportunity to play here.
What are you and Lee County and Lexington Country Club and the volunteers and the members here most proud to share with the kids?
I think it's our social feeling. Well, you're welcome here to Lexington. We love the kids, the tennis that they bring. The tennis enthusiasts here at Lexington are fabulous. We have 8 ladies teams that play. We have 10 men's teams, and just getting to see the kids really invigorates them to want to come out and play some more.
Our members love it. I'm watching these young people out here playing tennis, and I can't believe it. They're amazing. It's just been a great, wonderful few days that we've had with these young folks. That some of them are going to wind up being champions, and we're going to watch them at Wimbledon, I hope.
Many of the parents are saying they really appreciate and pick up on the hospitality that is happening the moment they arrive.
Great, yes, and that's something that we work on all the time. You know, we're a community of about 1,479 doors, 3,000 members in the community, and we concentrate on good service and welcoming in a home atmosphere. That's what we're so proud of that.
Lynn, you have been involved with the Florida Open for 10 years. 2 years here at Lexington Country Club, 8 years at another facility. What does the Florida Open mean to Lee County?
Well, the Florida Open has been in Lee County for 29 years. And so there's a tradition here of providing high-level quality junior tennis in Southwest Florida. We don't have as many players here because our population is not as large as Miami or Tampa area. So we'd like to highlight our area And for Lee County, from a sports development standpoint, we get great support from the County Sports Development Group because of the economic impact of this tournament to our area.
I know it's a bit hot for the kids, but it's a great tournament and they've established it for a long time. So I know they get a lot of quality tennis players coming down to play their event.
It's great to see the kids compete. At this level, that's really what separates the best from everyone else. And the fact that they got to deal with the conditions. It's a little hot and humid down here, so it's great to see just the level of competitiveness down here and the heart and desire and fight. I do some consulting with some college teams, and they're going to be interested to hear about some of the kids that are in the tournament, especially in the semifinals today. Very good potential college players coming up the pipe.
Cool place to be with all the college coaches around. How motivational is that to go out there and know that a lot of guys are looking at you?
Yeah, it's really good. Like, it makes us try our hardest and do your best, because you don't know who's watching you, and you just want to see the best school you could go to, and it's just a big decision now.
Doing your best on the SAT, ACT, that's super important. I mean, academics always first, and tennis, you just try to get better every day, and yeah, I mean, it helps a lot if you're trying to look for a good school, to have both.
Yeah, I'm super excited for college, even though I haven't decided on where I'm going yet. I think representing any school would just be amazing. I am so excited.
Starting to look at colleges, but
Now, your mother played at UNC.
yes.
That could be a good choice.
I mean, of course,
Yes.
I would. That's my first choice, actually. But it is a very good school, and it's a challenge to get in. But I'm trying to work towards that, and hopefully that is my outcome.
There's a lot of coaches I can tell walking around, looking at all the players and everything.
I want to go to college first, and then from there we'll see. College is undecided yet where I want to go. So the goal is to go pro, but it's tough. It's really tough out there. There's a lot of good players out there, so we'll see.
Coaches are down galore, taking a look at you for potential college choices. What do you enjoy about an event like this, the Florida Open?
Just getting to talk to people about future tennis opportunities.
Competition is here tough?
Yeah, the competition's tough here. Yeah.
Well, Danny boy, your summer's full of fun. You're playing here in the Florida Open. Next week you'll be at the National Clay Course. Then you're going to the zoo.
Yep.
Then you're going to be a pioneer at the University of Denver.
Yes, sir.
How good is this summer of 2018 for you, Danny?
It's been fun. Lots of training, getting ready for college, and it's hard to believe that these are my last few tournaments, but I'm excited, yeah.
How good is this Florida Open as a precursor, a tune-up for the National Clay Course?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's it's clay. It's like a perfect warm-up tournament for clays. There's lots of tough players, and yeah, it's the heat. It's just great conditions. So
this is the best way to prepare for clay courts because you're out there in the heat in Florida. And these clay courts are very slow, just like the ones at the Delray Beach Tennis Center. So I just think it's the best tournament to get ready on clay for.
Yeah, it's a good preparation. I had a lot of good matches to play, so yeah, it was really good.
I mean, it's totally different than how it is over in Oregon. It's a little drier, nowhere near as hot, so the conditions are totally different. There's a little bit more breeze, and the clay is something that I never practice on.
Since it's on clay, you get used to playing on clay because, I mean, my academy, I train hard every single day. So, I mean, I wasn't really used to playing on clay, so it's great preparation.
Yeah, I like playing on clay, like sliding and, hitting the ball, on a half volley sometimes. It's fun, serving and volleying.
I actually love clay. It's one of my favorite services, yeah.
Well, I'm here mainly to get some good match play in before clay court nats down in Delray. It's also good to get used to the humidity before clay court nats.
It's on clay, so that's the surface we'll be playing on, and it helps us get our strategies ready. Yeah, playing tournaments is always a good experience, so any tournament is good for the next one.
The Florida Open is on clay, which is going to get me ready for the clay courts.
And we get to play against lots of clay court players, which is good because those are the girls that know how to play on clay. So then going into clay courts,
will be prepared to play the girls that don't play on clay and play hard court games.
Also, it's really hot here, and so that
We're acclimated already.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I like to think I'm pretty motivated, but sometimes it's hard, when it's so hot outside to get up early and, go play tennis at 7 a.m. or go for a run. But I'm definitely working on it. I'm trying to improve my fitness, and I think it's producing some good results. I'm having some good matches in these tournaments.
I'd like to see them compete and put into matches what they work so hard in training for. So they play a lot of matches in this tournament. They were on day 3 now and many matches in between 2 daughters.
It was an amazing experience for us to see so many different levels of play, players coming from all over the country. The organization of the tournament was amazing. There were no glitches, timely starts, sportsmanship as well. Lots of girls fought very hard in a very hot weather here, and they all played, gave it all they had. So it was an amazing experience for my daughter.
It's a fantastic preparation. We're out from Fairfield, California, where we don't have this humidity, and of course we don't really have much of a clay court. So to come out here is, I would say, it's almost a prerequisite prior to playing the L1.
It's nerve-wracking. That's how much fun it is. It's something that gets in the stomach, and until they shake hands, you're not out of it. So it's so much fun to see your kid play to the highest level, but it definitely takes a lot of that strength and from the kids and the nerves from us.
It was devastation in Puerto Rico. No transportation airwise to get off of it. You have 3 kids here in the United States at the USTA National Campus, and there's nowhere to go.
In the beginning, we didn't really know what to do because it was all happening all so fast, and I couldn't play for a couple weeks.
It's so tough to talk about this. It was really hard because my sons are 12 and 14, and my daughter was only 15. So there was no way of them coming back home. It was tough. I was very lucky that I had brought my kids for the past 2 summers to the Academia Sanchez Casal in Naples, and they were the only people that I could think of that could help me. And when I called, they were extremely nice, and I remember they said, well, we still don't have electricity because you had been hit by the Hurricane Irma, but they said, it doesn't matter, bring them here, we'll keep them safe, we'll give them food, don't worry about it, we'll take care of them. And that's what they did.
They brought me in if I started in August, and they just got me back up in her feet, and it was so much easier for my family to pass the hurricane and be able to rebuild everything that was broken down. And they offered to put them in school, and they did at that point. So they took care of them in ways beyond what I would have ever imagined. They're so kind.
Tennis seems to bring people together. The Florida Open seems to bring volunteers together. How strong is this group of volunteers?
Well, it's interesting coming to Lexington. We have volunteers who are residents and owners here, but we have volunteers who were part of the Florida Open at the other facility who continue to volunteer with us because they enjoy the activity, they enjoy seeing the players, and just participating in this level of event.
I like to be around young people, and to see them play tennis is amazing. And I just started tennis 2 years ago, so I love tennis, I love Florida, and I love Lexington Country Club. Whenever there is an event at Lexington, we need volunteers. Everyone is anxious to help out.
What would your advice be to a young kid in his prime from a guy who took it up later in life?
So my best advice as someone who did take it up very young and then quit is punishing your coaches by quitting is not the answer. You're only hurting yourself, which is what I did at 13.
We've had some wonderful sponsors this year. We've had the Kitchen Magician, Ritzman, who has done all our court lights.
Tony Ritzman.
Yes,
My
Tony
gosh.
just photo finish our lights this week for our LED lights here. Yes, so he's one of our gold sponsors. We also have Patty Beavers. We have Raymond James. So we had some very wonderful sponsors.
Firkins family, you've been with them from day one. They've been promoting tennis from day one, Nick Bollettieri.
Well, I think they help with a lot of local events.
Whatever you do, don't let the summer of Jeep at Firkins pass you by. New 2019 Cherokees, 0 down, sign and drive, $259 a month. Or new 2018 Grand Cherokees, 0 down, sign and drive, just $299 a month. Expect more, save more. Find it at Firkins.
I'm Mike. I'm Bob. You're Inside Tennis with the Koz.
Tennis fans, thanks for staying with us. Mal Washington, who founded the award-winning Mal Washington Youth Foundation, has been helping change lives through education and tennis. Catching up with Mal Washington, one of the most respected tennis contributors in our game. Mal, you were born here, New York. You know this place, but you spent most of the time in Michigan. What was it like with Team Washington growing up in Michigan?
Well, it was great. I mean, I kind of jokingly say that in our household, we went to school, we ate, we slept, we went to church, and we played tennis. I mean, those are really the only 5 things we did when I was a kid growing up, and none of them, we couldn't skip any of them. I mean, you had to eat, you had to sleep, you had to go to school, church, and tennis. And I think we did a lot of hours of those. That's just the way it was for us. I mean, we played tennis together. I grew up playing with my older sister, Makila, and a lot of people don't know this, but my older sister, of all the Washingtons, she was the first one to go out on the professional tour back in the 80s. And she had a little bit of success, and for a while she had the bragging rights because she was the only one to reach the top 100 in the world. And then once I reached that, I had all the bragging rights. And so it's funny because everyone in our family has something in tennis that they accomplished that someone else didn't accomplish.
Fast forward, you're at the Big Blue, University of Michigan. Happiest times there, in the classroom, on the tennis courts, socially?
My happiest, I'll be honest with you, my happiest times were not in the classroom, but I remember my freshman year. I had a good time my freshman year, no question. It was a completely different experience. I was away from home and I was in college and had the opportunity to play at the great University of Michigan. And I remember after that first semester, I had a nice talking to by my coach, and he says, I think we need to reprioritize a few things. And after that first semester, I settled in and got my priorities straight and had a lot of success my freshman year, had even more success my sophomore year. But having the opportunity to go to University of Michigan, improve my tennis, improve my education, and improve socially and emotionally, and build my character on that team, specifically that team in that university, was tremendous, and it's really what propelled me to the professional tour.
All of a sudden you're on grass in the semifinals. The opponent is a big tenor himself, Todd Martin. What was it like being in the semifinals, playing another big tenor? I mean, that had to be amazing for the conference.
It was pretty cool that Todd went to Northwestern and we played in college.
Head-to-head?
Head-to-head. And I specifically remember at Northwestern, Todd beat me at 7-6 in the third. And I'm still disappointed about that loss. But whenever we talk about our head-to-heads, I always bring up Wimbledon because I got him in the big one. But that day at Wimbledon in the semifinal, having 2 guys from Michigan, 2 Big Ten guys battling it out for the final of Wimbledon, it was a great opportunity for one of us.
You're playing Krajicek in the finals.
And I got bettered that day by Richard Krajicek. And as great of a disappointment it was also a special moment because that was the pinnacle of my career. It's what every tennis player tries to do, and I know most tennis players are never going to reach it, but being the competitor that I am, I always felt like there was something more I could have done, either in that match or that tournament or that summer, or certainly in my career. But you take what you're given and you try to, hopefully you can walk away from the game and you can say, I gave it all I had and I'm happy.
Your career reached a pinnacle of 11 on the ATP, and you're top tenor, 4 championships that you collected yourself. All of a sudden you're battling bad knees. And what was that like? You could feel the career might be winding down because of this infirmity?
Honestly, it was disappointing. It was, in my career, I felt like I wanted to play, a good 12, 13 years out there. I felt like that was a good number for me. And Ironically, after the biggest summer of my career, the finals of Wimbledon in '96, followed up by the Olympic Games in Atlanta in '96, within 7 months, it was, believe it or not, it was the beginning of the end of my career. And my knee didn't allow me to go much further. And in 1999, I retired at the old age of 30 years old. I retired from the game that I loved. But I have nothing but good memories when I think about my time on the ATP Tour.
All of a sudden, you're in the most rewarding part of your life. You launch the Mel Washington Youth Education Foundation. Share how meaningful that is for the kids and for you personally.
You know what? Oftentimes when you give of your time or your money or your energy toward a cause, you actually get a lot in return as well. And I get a good feeling knowing that what we're doing with my youth foundation in Jacksonville, Florida, and what we've been doing for literally 21 years now, is really giving a lot of young people hope. And I like to say we're serving hope and changing lives. And I genuinely believe that we have literally saved lives of youth because we're giving them after-school opportunities, help them realize that there is no limit to what they can achieve if they're willing to put in the time and if they're willing to stay on track. So we're helping them stay on track.
Mel Washington, you're a man of pleasure to be around. Thanks for your time and your friendship today. Thank you.
Koz, thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day.
Tennis fans, again, if you are a tennis parent, you will enjoy this segment with Lisa Stone. You're an information provider. This information provider was not out there for you. No. So you sought out some information providers for you. Who have some of these people been, and what have you learned from them?
Well, interestingly, it all started on Facebook. I got into a group on Facebook of past U.S. junior tennis champions. So these are people that have been out of the game for a long time, but they still love the game and love talking about it. And
these are now parents, or they're
grandparents even.
Whoa, yeah, really? So you're going to throw some names out soon. I'm going to ask some, but continue your story.
Okay, so I joined this group and I started posing my questions to them, and I started gathering fantastic insights and information. And one of them actually suggested that if I had those questions, surely there were many, many other parents out there with the same questions and concerns. Why don't I start a website and put all of this information together and make it available? So that's what I did.
Very interesting. My question to you, the top 3 bits of information that you picked up from this source.
First of all was looking at a coach and using a discerning eye to try to determine if it's the right coach for my child. I think that was huge, and understanding what my child should be getting from a coach and what I should be paying for that. I think that was a big thing. Another thing was the importance of rankings, or the non-importance of rankings in the early years, and focusing more on process rather than outcome. And that was something I needed to hear and needed to kind of process myself to understand, so that I wasn't so caught up in rankings and could help my child not be so caught up in all of that. And then the other thing was tournament selection, and understanding that my child didn't have to be at a tournament every week, that it was okay to take some time away from competition and work on things on the practice court, and that would help him once he did go back into tournament play.
Getting that college scholarship can be very competitive. It's an international global game out there.
Yes.
Some kids are highly sought after. Some kids are not. These kids that can play college tennis at a D2, D3, or a lower level D1, and they're not being sought after, how do they get themselves out there?
I think the main thing is the kids need to drive the process. I think that's really important.
Not the parent, not the coach?
Not the parent, not the coach. I think it needs to start with the kids. And the advice that we got was for my son to put together a list of schools, 20 schools that he was interested in, and then start to whittle it down based on the schools that were realistic options for him versus the ones that were reach schools, much like you do when you apply for college on an academic level. And then once you do that, the child needs to start reaching out to the coaches and developing those relationships with the coaches, because for example, my son, we live in Atlanta, but he wanted to play college on the West Coast. And so it was, one of those situations where he wasn't going to get in front of coaches at tournaments because we weren't traveling to the West Coast on a regular basis for him to play. So he needed to establish these relationships via phone calls and emails, sending videos, putting stuff up on YouTube, and making sure the coaches had access to that. And he did a great job of it. He got his goal of playing on the West Coast.
Teaching parents how to serve aces with Lisa Stone. Great to catch up with you. Finally sit down together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, Koz. Appreciate it.
And here is the Wimbledon Wrap Recap with the tennis wrapping coach, Ravi Patel.
Wimbledon, day one, green grass, hot sun. Venus made a comeback, Serena got the job done. Rigo didn't make it through, Kovic didn't either too. Bekic beat Stevens and Swan's win was big news. Stark took a tough loss, Fed showed who's boss. Miller serving rockets, Monfils whipping shots, Cross chitting big shots. Query couldn't get stopped, was Miyake playing fair, shooting for the top spot. Day two, on the move, fans are camping in the queue. Hunter won it in a breaker, team hurt and withdrew. Halep too consistent, Edmund driving so persistent. Katie Coulter went the distance, Zverev getting down to business. Kyrgios starts with an impact, Nadal high with a flip back. Novak and backhands and forehands for the big man. Clark and Goffin down, Maria crashing down in shots. Bonareva tried their best, but Kerber came out that on top. Day three, underway, fans are trying to catch the shade. People sitting on the hill, eyes on Roger when he plays. Graceful with a jump smash, met straight sets in his match. Venus had to dig deep when suffering from a setback. Makarova took over, so did Safrova. Pliskova's return made as Arenka's run over. Serena Keys was textbook, not enough to get shook. Monfils was playing silly, even hit the ball with no look. Day four had more wins, more losses, more pins. Rafa Halep playing sick, but Cilic couldn't make it in. Same for Stan and Ponta, Luka Ruther couldn't stop her. Defending champion Djokovic and Rafa breezing, Kyler's hitting like a monster. Fognini with the dropper, hot shots and hot dogs. Kyrgios with two tweeners and Ashley with a slick lob. Kerber moving further, Paris flashy with a curl. And Nishikori staying solid, there's no danger as a server. Day five, chasing dreams, get the strawberries and the cream. Tensions rise, emotions high, Serena, Kevin make it by. Venus edged out in the end, Wadina strong in her defense. Stefanos taking all his sets and Zverev closing down the net. Makarova moving on, Gail, John and Bekic won. Gergis moving through the rounds, as Strikova went crashing out. Mihaela sent off in defeat, but Fed was playing at his peak. Titles what the players seek, and that's the recap of the week.
Tennis fans, great to have you with us on Inside Tennis with the Koz. We love our sponsors, and you will too. Stop by and see them. Until then, remember, in tennis scoring, love means nothing, but love of the game means everything. Keep alive your love of the game. Love you, tennis fans, and we'll see you right here every Saturday, 12:30 on SNN.